So I want to start off with the research, and for this project, we had to do some research on the Capitol complex and the main buildings within the Capitol complex, such as the Palace of Assembly, the Secretariat building, and the Justice building. And basically, all these buildings were designed by Le Corbusier, which his architecture and simplicity, minimalism, and brutalism inspired me to create my final product for the building. But here we took some notes about the site where the building will be placed. Took some notes about the structure of his buildings and the layouts and his floor plans. Here I took some research on the neighborhood, the sectors. When we did the sector project, most of the information you will see in the files I uploaded to the Google Drive, including a PowerPoint. But here I'm just gonna talk to you about the more essential parts. So here's a neighborhood study which was used in the development of the neighborhood we turned in for the class. Here is some research about Safdie and his Peace Center, and I was very intrigued by his design and his simplicity. Very neutral design, very modern but neutral. But I also took note of his geometrical forms for his roof, and I found it very beneficial, and I enjoyed using his building as a reference for my building. So his layout and floor plan really helped me inspire what would become my Peace Center. Here was some research about Sikhism, which was the main focus of my project amongst all the religions we are doing, and some of the temples in and their domes and different categories and concepts on each building and how it's gonna go to my design. Even though, like I said, I wanted a neutral approach because my concept is based on unity, and I want to unify the religions together in a way that nobody gets offended. There is no bias, and on top of that, it's very neutral and very friendly for everyone to enjoy, in one place. So Sikhism, these are some symbols that they use. The Sikhs are it's one of the religions I've come to admire because they're very friendly. They care about the people, and they have a lot of rules, but they tend to be very, very relaxed. But yeah, that's some research on that. And this is more about neighborhood design, which this was one of the sectors that I used as a reference, sector 3, as a reference to develop my sector. So on top of that, I want to go now to the site analysis. This was a rough draft. Actually, this one was a rough draft. And this one is basically the Capitol complex. And my building was supposed to be set around here with the initial concept that the entrance was going to be around. It was definitely going to be facing south, and more towards the west. Hoping that the entrance was going to be around one of these roads right here that will lead to the main entrance. This is my site planning process with the final design, which, as I mentioned, the entrance would have come through here, and then this is the ground. And I wanted a long stretchway to be the approach, because when you're going, usually in temples, everything is distant and far, and you have to reach your destination, and that's what I want that feel to be like. This right here is supposed to be an outside an outside theater, but I'll explain that when I get to the model. I want to talk about the model now. And this was the initial floor plan. I definitely made a huge change to this, but I kept this part because I found it intriguing and it reminded me of Le Corbusier style. So this is a model, a 3D model of my design, of my process model. Here's the isometric drawing, and here I basically, wanted to keep a dome because I felt like the dome benefited at least 2 or 3 of the religions, but I also, like I said, wanted to keep it neutral, so it's very welcoming for all the religions, and there is no bias or favoritism. I want to go now to the process sketch of the model. So like I said, there was going to be some gardens here. This was the process of the site and the actual building. I wanted the roof to have a sort of purification system that goes to the center right here, and the center had the Serenity Pond where people cleanse and purify themselves, which was part of the Sikhist religion. And I wanted that purification so when it rains, the water could be fresh, and when people cleanse themselves, they would have fresh water. The sun was a big factor in the religion because light usually meant a higher power and it meant protection. So I wanted the light to focus on the dome at this point because I felt a glass approach would have been good because that way you get the light source, but the light also would come and also aim at the pond, the Serenity Pond, and the interior garden, or Serenity Garden, which would shed light and glisten the water and make it feel sort of what's the word?